All right, hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Note to Self. I was planning on doing an Ask P episode today, but something came over me this week and I wanted to share my absolute favorite things. I'm talking things that I used nearly every single day. I wanted to set the scene for 2023 so you guys can know some of my favorite things that I have tried out for either like a really long time or that I have recently found this year that I've added to my regimen or closet or whatever it is. And we're getting extremely specific. You guys can find everything linked in the show notes. I'm going to make a whole master list and then link everything that you need. Some of these things are free. Some of them are specific beauty products, for example. But I just kind of wanted to make a full master list of things that I absolutely love. Luckily, a number of those products are sponsors of Note to Self, which has been great because I've been able to work with brands that I truly love, that I've worked with either for years or are new to the show, but I've used for years. So I will definitely share that with you guys as well. And I figure we'll just go ahead and get started with this because this is going to be one of those shorter, more concise episodes that you can make your own little list from and try out some new things on my list, or gift some things on my list as well. But I just wanted to do one of these. I have not seen, there's none of the podcasts that I actually listen to all the time that do episodes like this, because I will say most of the time I listen to murder podcasts. But I thought this was a good idea. Just it's the Note to Self master list. And like I said, we're getting very specific. Number one thing I wanted to mention at the top of the episode is the Note to Self merch is still available on Dear Media. You guys can shop using the link in the description. I wear my Note to Self merch all the time. I have the white crew neck, the members crew. It's a beautiful embroidered crew neck sweatshirt. It doesn't really even look like podcast merch because I want it to feel elevated, a little bit of a country club vibe. So I wear the white one. I have that one in just a 2XL, large. And then I have the burgundy one, the maroon one, in a medium, so I can wear it with tennis skirts and stuff. And then I have the one in a 2X as well. I love that merch so much. So it's available right now. That's my number one top thing in the clothing section right now because it's the thing that I wear the most. I live in a crew neck sweatshirt, so I have to stop myself from wearing it all the time on the podcast because I do record video and I wear the same crew neck every single day. I kind of like to keep it a little bit spicier now that I'm recording video and everything, but that's number one. All right, so if you guys want to shop that, you guys can use the link in the description to take a look at the two crew necks. There's only two. It's the same crew neck in two different colors, but that's the first thing I want to mention at the top of the episode. Let's go ahead and get into my very specific favorite things. I figure we will start in the beauty space. So we're talking about makeup, skincare, and hair care. And I've broken it down even further. Okay, so for skincare, my number one product that I found this year and have used continuously is the Tatcha Dewy Skin Cream. This is the Tatcha moisturizer that's in the purple bottle. And I was pretty hesitant to get anything Tatcha because I do think it is pretty expensive, and I do like the water cream a lot, especially pre-makeup, and usually when I have my makeup done professionally, they use the Tatcha water one, the blue bottle, and I really like that, but I don't know, I just never went out and purchased it myself. I got the purple dewy skin cream and I love this moisturizer for nighttime. In the daytime, I usually like something a little bit lighter. Not to say that it's super heavy or anything. And if I do wear it during the daytime, I will add some water in my palm as well. But this dewy skin cream works so well on my skin specifically. I'm obsessed with it. I have repurchased this product so many times. I love both the water cream, but especially the dewy skin cream at nighttime. And again, if I use it during the day, I'll just kind of dilute it slightly, so it's not so heavy. I also like a lot of other Tatcha products, but I just haven't really landed on one that I'm I will rebuy that until the end of time. And the Tatcha Dewy Skin Cream, that's the one. My number two skincare product, I purchased the SkinCeuticals Floretin CF. I think that's how you say it. It's a vitamin C product. I will say my skin doesn't always react super well to vitamin C. I have very sensitive skin, and they have their ferulic C E or something. It's like another vitamin C product. It's probably their most popular vitamin C product I've seen. But it was too harsh on my skin, especially like first starting with vitamin C. So I got this one. It has like 5% less of the active ingredient in it. So it doesn't bother my skin so much. And I absolutely love this vitamin C product. There aren't very many vitamin C products that I've used that both work really well and don't fuck up my skin and make it red and like kind of more irritated. So I did start using it slowly. Like I started with every other day. And I absolutely love this product. SkinCeuticals, again, is one of those brands that I feel like it's expensive. And this is the one product from them I would say that I use every single day now because I've gotten used to it and that I absolutely love. It's become a staple in my routine. I will also take a couple drops of it and put it in my hand like moisturizer because I'm trying to take better care of my hands. So I'll put like the vitamin C with my like hand cream, and then I'll put also my sunscreen with my hand cream and like make it a whole little cocktail. Which leads me into my third product that I have to talk about today. It's the Zit Sticka sunscreen. I am actually allergic to chemical sunscreens. I found this out when I was young and I was living on the beach in Florida, like growing up literally on the beach. And I could not use chemical sunscreens, which back then was mostly every option of sunscreen. They didn't have a ton of like mineral options when I was like 5. So I realized or my mom realized I was allergic because I break out in these like little bumps everywhere. So I have to use sunscreens that are zinc oxide or titanium dioxide based. But that means that a lot of them they leave like a very intense white cast, which has been an absolute disaster trying to find good sunscreens because you're supposed to wear sunscreen every day. And usually I've just, gone with it and worn sunscreens that like make me look like even more pale than I am because they do not rub in the correct way. This Zit Sticka, like it's like a sunscreen serum. I love it so much. I use it on my hands, my neck, and my face when I'm not using my fourth favorite product, my Elta MD tinted sunscreen. I've repurchased this a number of times. I know it's like a classic. Everyone loves this product. I am very excited to try the Elastin tinted sunscreen because I've heard really good things about that. My friend Kristen is like gorgeous, beautiful supermodel, like literally in Sports Illustrated, and her skin is always perfect. And one, I would assume that's genetics, but 2, she was saying she loves the Elastin tinted sunscreen almost over Elta MD because she said it provides a little more coverage than the Elta one does. So I haven't tried that one yet, but that one's definitely on my list to try. And the Elta MD one has been so good to me so far, and I've repurchased that a number of times. So if I'm wearing makeup that day, or if I need a good base, or if I don't feel like using the clear Zit Sticka one, I'll use the Elta MD one, but I always use the Zit Sticka one on my hands and on my neck. Okay, so this next one isn't really skincare. I feel like it's more like body care, but Kopari's aluminum-free deodorant has been one of my favorites for absolute years. I know if you're not used to using like aluminum or aluminum-free non-toxic deodorants, there might be a time period where like you feel like you smell gross or something if you're like detoxing. I've heard of that. I don't think that ever happened to me with this one. I love it. I know there are mixed reviews on it, but I have repurchased so many times. Also, back in the day when they released the product, I think it was like 3 years ago, I was in their first campaign for it. That was like one of my only like commercial modeling shoots. I did their Kopari deodorant launch. And so I got the product when I went on that shoot, and then I just kept using it, and I absolutely love it so much. I repurchase all the time. It's a staple. I also have a mini one that I will travel with as well, or put in my car. Though I will say it's like a coconut oil based sunscreen or deodorant. So leaving it in your car, it can kind of melt and stuff like that. But anyway, I love it so much. Highly recommend if you're looking for like a non-toxic deodorant. All right, so now we're moving on to makeup. Number 1 product times 1,000 is my favorite foundation, the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk. I typically get 2 different colors. So right now I have 5.1 and then 5.25. And depending on if I'm a little more bronze that week or whatever, I will kind of mix them together to get my perfect shade. I love this product so much. I like to kind of also mix it in with moisturizer to make it like a little more sheer. But it really is so buildable, and it's been my favorite for a long time. Again, it's something that makeup artists have used on me that I kind of like picked up and was like, okay, obviously this is great if everyone is using this foundation. Highly recommend. I know it's expensive, but mine usually lasts me a long time because I feel like a little goes a long way, especially if you have the right product that you're kind of like applying it with. I'll usually try to apply it with a blush first, and then I kind of go over with a beauty blender after to kind of make sure it's all seamless and perfect. But the brush helps to get like every little bit of product on my face. Something I've discovered this year through another influencer, and I actually forgot who it was, but it was someone, I can't remember. Someone was doing like a makeup tutorial. And I saw this on TikTok, and the Hourglass Vanish Concealer. I love that concealer. I've always been like a NARS creamy concealer girl. The Hourglass one, I like for under my eyes, which is really the only place I use concealer. I kind of dot some like right in kind of the inner corner under my eye, and then like on the outer corner as well to kind of brighten things up and get some like rid of some shadowing. I love this stuff for my under eyes. I also like hate setting my under eyes. I just feel like I'm not that good at it. And I feel like with this one, it takes a very light little brush of powder to set, or sometimes I don't even set it and it sticks where it needs to stick. I love it. I don't know what shade I am in that, but I feel like you should definitely be going to like go to Sephora or something and check out your shades. Unless you kind of know what you are, you can order online obviously, but yeah, I don't remember my certain shade for that, so sorry. I should have looked that up. I get asked about my lip combo a lot. I'm a big lip combo girl, and I also, when I find something that I like, I usually stick to it. I'm such a creature of habit in that way. And when I find something that like is the best, obviously for me, color-wise and everything. So I was a huge fan of MAC Soar liner for a really long time. And then I was introduced to Charlotte Tilbury's Lip Cheat. I think it's Pillow Talk Medium, not the regular Pillow Talk because that just looks weird on my lips. But Pillow Talk Medium is like pretty much my exact lip color, maybe slightly more pigmented and like pinker. But I love this color. And then I pair it with Buxom's Dolly Gloss, either like the kind of sparkly one or just like the regular gloss. I absolutely love both of those products. Dolly is my favorite color, my tried and true. That combo has never steered me wrong. I get asked if my lips are real all the time, especially when I'm wearing this, because I do a little overline. Okay, I get a little dramatic with it, but the plumping gloss is just like an extra zhuzh, I guess. And my lips are not. I don't have any filler in my lips, so I like when someone asks me that. Okay, another makeup favorite, Rare Beauty. I love everything Rare Beauty. I'm obsessed with a lot of their products. I love their mascara, but specifically my favorite product that I use all the time is their blush, that liquid blush they have. I use the color Hope. It just looks good on my skin tone. I feel like it gives me like a nice rosy flush. I absolutely love their blush. Another product is the Lime Crime freckles, like faux freckles I put on my face, because usually if I use my tinted sunscreen and then I use my Giorgio Armani foundation, by that time my freckles are gone, so we add a few more in with the Lime Crime. It's like a little pink bottle, and I got mine on Revolve. And then this isn't really makeup, but I thought I'd throw in a fragrance favorite. My favorite ever fragrance is the Maison Francis Baccarat Rouge. I love that scent. I will say a bottle will last me a full year because I literally just spray it like twice and we're good to go. It's such a specific scent. I've had people like chase me down. I had this one girl actually last year. We were in Mexico. I was on the beach. We were outside on the beach with like the wind of the beach, and like it smells like outside. It smells like the beach. I walked like by her, but I was a full probably 10 feet away from her. She chased me down and was like, "What the fuck are you wearing? That smells so good." I'm like, how do you smell that? She must have like a crazy nose. But I've had multiple people be like, "Oh my God, what is that smell?" I know it's a pretty popular fragrance, but for me, the price tag is a little stressful, but again, very, very worth it. I've been investing in things like that, and I love that scent so much. I'm still trying to find a scent that even comes close for me, because I'd like to switch between a couple, but that one's definitely my like number one favorite times 1,000. And I know that they have like dupes, like there's a Dossier, that brand. They do one that's similar to the smell, but I can smell the difference. I swear to God, I tried to get the cheaper version and I can smell the difference for sure. Also, the Ariana Grande fragrance smells very similar as well. But I guess because I wear it every single day, like I can tell when something's different from it. But those two are two dupes that people really, really like and say, smell really great. Okay, now we're moving on to hair care. I've been big into taking care of my hair both last year and this year, trying to grow it out and make it healthy. So number one, I switched my shampoo and conditioner to Pureology. It's the Strength Cure line. It's like a blue bottle. They also have one for blondes. It's like in a purple bottle, but I use the blue one more often. Love this stuff. I think Pureology is an amazing hair care brand. I've gotten very lucky and been able to work with them and gotten a lot of really wonderful products to try. Those two, the shampoo and conditioner, are my favorite. And then my favorite treatment from them is the Pureology top coat. And I get it in clear. And I can use this like once a week on my hair. I inlay other treatments kind of with it as well. So sometimes I'll like skip weeks. But this product is so good for giving you like a blowout look. Like I do feel like my hair looks like shinier and healthier when I use it, especially if you like kind of heat style after, which I always use. My next thing on this list is my Dyson air styler thing. I absolutely love this product. I've used it so much. It's been so worth it and so worth the cost to me. But again, it is like a higher price item. And to remind you guys, this list is full of things that I've purchased and been like, wow, that was so worth the money. The Dyson for me has been so worth it. And I feel like it's made my hair better over time because I'm not using like harsh heat tools, on my hair. Another one I have to add is the K18 treatment. I kind of like, every week I'll do some kind of treatment on my hair. So I'll do this one with the top coat clear as well. So I'll kind of like mix and match or, do one week and do one the next week. The K18 treatment is like a revolutionary treatment. They are a sponsor of the show, and you guys can see more information in the show notes. But I am obsessed with this treatment. It really it gave my hair like completely new life. Like I feel like it completely revived my hair, and parts of my hair that felt like more dead and dry. This stuff just goes in and like really, really strengthens it, and it makes the texture of your hair like completely different. So highly recommend this. I am a huge fan of K18. And then lastly, the one heat tool I actually do use on my hair, I've used it today. I feel like y'all are watching this on video, is the Bondi Boost Heat Waver Tool. I love this thing. So to kind of stay within like the healthy hair subject, when I use this tool, I don't use a super high heat setting and I use it super quickly because I don't need really intense waves in my hair. I just want it to give it like a little bit of texture. So I kind of grab a section and I go down the section relatively quickly, and I'm not trying to make everything perfect because it's supposed to look a little bit like beachy and wavy and natural, and that's going to be really helpful too for not absolutely just damaging your hair with heat. I haven't found a product that I really like to use all the time. It's like a heat styler spray or like whatever it is. I use a couple different ones, so I do use a treatment to help my hair like not crack off because I'm using like a heat styling tool, but I haven't found one, like I said, that I would like mention here in this episode. Okay, so now we're moving on to supplements because I'm now a supplement girly and a medicine girly. I've talked about my experience with antidepressants. I got back on antidepressants this year. Those have absolutely changed my life, so not really a supplement but definitely a favorite. For my supplements, I've been buying Thorne or Symbiotica supplements. From Thorne, I have their turmeric supplement. It's called something else, and I'll link it in the description. Absolutely amazing. I've been taking it. It's like 2 pills every single day. So love that one from Thorne. Nutrafol is, this could go in the hair category as well, but I'm taking Nutrafol every single day for my hair. It's been just about 2 months. I'm already seeing differences for sure, but I'm going to wait for that 3rd month because I know that when that really is like it actually kicks in. But my hair, I feel like everything I'm doing for it is really helpful, and the Nutrafol is just like an added bonus. My mom loves Nutrafol, so she like literally made me try it years ago, and then I got off of it because I just like stopped taking any supplements because I just like got lazy. And then once I started taking my antidepressants again, because I have to take that every day, I started this whole new supplement routine because I literally have to take them. So now I'm not lazy. The Enzyme Medica Digest Spectrum supplements are my digestive enzymes I use. I heard about these on the Him and Her podcast. One of the guests were talking about it. And I got mine actually from Thrive Market, who's also a sponsor of the show, but they have very, very good prices for supplements specifically. So I will go to Thrive Market for most of my supplements if I'm not buying Thorne, because I don't think they have Thorne on there. But they do have like really, really amazing prices for a lot of supplements, especially that Digest Gold thing. And you can use code Note to Self. I believe it's the code. And you guys can get like $60 of a free gift and then like some percentage off. I'll have to look it up because it's not under this episode sponsors, but I will leave some information below for you guys when I link the actual product. I'll leave the little code and stuff like that for you guys there too. And then for my go-to just like multivitamin, I use Ritual, which I love. They're very fancy. They're really pretty. They have this like minty aftertaste. So I use the Ritual just like every day to like help get whatever nutrients I'm missing during the day. Moving on to fitness, not really a product, but I've really incorporated a lot of walking this year. When we lived in DC, it was super easy to walk everywhere. Now that we're in Beverly Hills, also super easy to walk everywhere. So I really try to get 10,000 steps unless I'm doing some kind of other workout that day. So that'll usually be like 2 kind of quick, brisk walks, one in the morning and then maybe one in the afternoon, if I can do that. It's not every single day, and I don't feel bad about it if I don't get those steps in, but that's been like something that I've been trying to do, and it's been really helpful. I also tried Solidcore this year. I started Solidcore last year around this time. Love Solidcore. I had a major moment with it when I lived in Dallas. I also did it in DC. Right now, it's harder for me because it's like a 20-minute drive away, whereas like it used to be a lot closer to where I lived. But I still love Solidcore. I'm still like a member. I go when I can. And I've kind of switched off to now doing like a training session with my actual trainer that I've hired. So I have her for 2 days a week, and then I try to do the Solidcore 1 day a week, and then the other days I try to walk. Another thing I've gotten back into this year is P-Volve. I've also worked with them just on social media and stuff, and they have this whole P-Volve kit with the P-Volve ball and like the streaming classes online. Doing those classes, it's like the closest thing I've found to the feeling of reformer Pilates without going to a reformer Pilates class, which is what Solidcore is, basically like an intense reformer class. I love P-Volve. They have so many classes. I also like love their stretching classes and things like that. So that's been a big one for me because I have the stuff at home. If I just want to like stretch really fast or do like a 15-minute class, like something that feels like I'm not really committing that much to working out, but it's just like getting my body moving a little bit. So I love P-Volve for an at-home option. Okay, so now we're moving on to clothes, accessories, and all the good stuff. So my first main thing that I've loved this year is my Chanel Jumbo that I bought myself last December for my 28th birthday. This bag was an investment, but I use it quite literally every single day. It fits so much stuff. Like I'll get my mail and put it in there. I have like a little mini notebook in there. I'll put like makeup in there. I mean like in a little makeup case, not free to roam about the Chanel, but it has so many pockets. There's like an outside pocket. There's some like secret ones like on the inside, and then it's got its like main area. I love this bag so much. I do not regret that purchase at all. I look at it, it makes me happy. I love her. It's great for every single day. Another investment that I made in this last year was my watch. I'm a big watch girl. I would choose watches over diamonds any day. I love timepieces. I like unique ones, and I also like kind of like more masculine looking timepieces. So last December, I was in New York and I went into a place called Watches of Switzerland. It's in the middle of Soho. And I had been building this one Rolex that I've wanted for a long time online for years, like 3 years. And I would always look at the price and be like, how the fuck would I ever in my life be able to afford that? Just like almost like frivolously, not really frivolously, but yeah, it's like obviously like it's a watch. I don't need it. Okay. So I had I never pictured myself buying this, but we walked into Watches of Switzerland and Rolexes were kind of like, and still are pretty much like out of stock everywhere. And they get shipments in of the new watches because they're a certified dealer every so often. So I saw that there was a wait list for this exact watch, and I'll describe it to you guys if you guys are in like the watch space and want to know more. Like I said, I got it from Watches of Switzerland. It was brand new. It is a Rolex Datejust. It is 36 millimeters. It's two-tone because I wear gold and silver jewelry and I like mixing. It has the Jubilee bracelet in the fluted bezel, and the face is olive. So I went in there and I said, this is exactly what I want. They're like, we have a wait list literally for that exact watch. We don't know when it's going to come in. It could be in 1 month. It could be in 6 months. It could be in 8 months. But you have to put a deposit down for that. So anyway, I put my deposit down. They call me back 3 months later and they're like, the watch is in. So I went over and grabbed my watch. Amazing. I love it. I can't wait to like hand it down to my children one day. I'm obsessed with like a classic watch. And I feel like it just kind of elevated a lot of my outfits without me having to actually try, you know? Otherwise, I've been really into thrifting, and especially thrifting when I'm traveling. So when I went to Rome very recently, I found this amazing yellow fur coat, and honestly wasn't that crazy expensive at all. Not what I expected it to be, at least. Perfect fit, beautiful. There was something about the coat that was just like calling to me. And now I will forever have that souvenir from Rome. And I've been doing that a lot when we travel, trying to thrift and buy something kind of special from the place. I've done so in San Francisco. I've done so in New York. And it just brings back really good memories when I wear the piece. And then it just feels special and unique on top of the fact that it's like a special and unique piece because I thrifted it and it's like kind of different. I recently bought in San Francisco, which I'll show you guys soon, this unbelievable vintage like 1920s style like flapper dress almost. I think it's gonna be perfect for some kind of holiday thing. It's like sheer, it's stunning. I put it on, it fit like a glove. I had to have it. So like I will always have a memory of that day of us walking around San Francisco and me and Joe having like a great time thrift shopping and everything. So I'm buying a lot of souvenirs that are like just thrifted souvenirs. Okay, so to get specific about some shoes, I love it's my Nike Air Max Futura shoes. They are actually, I've recently found them on like a major sale. I'll see if I can find that link for you guys to link it for you. But I love these sneakers. They're like an Air Force One, but like updated and like a little bit cooler. My next shoe choice that I love are the Stuart Weitzman Nudist Song heels. I have them in like matte regular black, I have them in a sparkly black, and I have them in nude. These shoes have carried me through every wedding that I've gone to in the last year and a half. I love them. They're easy to walk in. I love Stuart Weitzman. I feel like they make such a good shoe. So I love that specific shoe. It's just a very simple heel with like a strap over the toe and a strap at the ankle. And again, surprisingly easy to walk in. Okay, so for my favorite stores and places to shop at this year, Reebok has been one huge one. I bought my jumbo Chanel from there. I've also purchased a new Chanel this month from there. And I love their product selection. I love their pricing. You can also do this thing with them where you could like turn in bags that you like, designer bags that you don't want anymore, and they'll price you out and be able to like put that towards a new purchase if you want to, which I absolutely love. They had a whole like Cyber Monday sale, and I did the 20% off of the Chanel that I just got. So I got this beautiful Chanel bag in near perfect condition. It was listed as great condition on the website. For like $1,600, which for a Chanel is pretty ridiculous. So there's some really good finds on there. And I usually just have like a running list of things that I like. And if I see something I need to have, sometimes I just have to pull the trigger on it. My most shopped probably this year has been Revolve. I think that people give Revolve a bad rap because I think that sometimes some of their brands, some of the in-house brands, I see that people are like, it seems fast fashion-y. It's like, it's not as nice as I would like to, I would like for that price point. But I think people forget that Revolve has so many cool brands outside of their in-house brands as well. So I purchased a lot of my clothing from Revolve. I have this brand called Nonchalant I found on there. There's For Love and Lemons on there. There's some more like, I guess like chic, cool, like holiday attire dresses from brands like Cult Gaia. I love the selection that Revolve has. I'm a huge fan, and I like the quick shipping. I like the quick returns because I like to kind of try things on and then send them back. So I am here to sing Revolve's praises all day. I love Revolve. I shop Revolve all the time. Some more have been Reformation. The Frankie Shop is where I've gotten all my blazers and like basics and stuff. Love the Frankie Shop. Aloe Yoga. I don't wear their leggings because they gave me massive camel toe, but I love Aloe Yoga for everything else, basically. Like a lot of like loungewear sweats. I am in my treat myself era, so I've gotten myself my Jimmy Choo boots, which I freaking love. They're the Blake boots. They're like a wedge boot with a pointed toe. Beautiful. My Prada loafers I absolutely love. And then my Celine shades. They're like an oval shade. I wear them literally all the time. I'm about to buy them in tortoise because I love them. I think they also just match my face shape. So apps, aside from the ones like Instagram, Postmates, Uber, things I use all the time, Notion has been amazing. It's an app. I don't even know how to describe Notion. It's like a workspace app, but you could like make pages, whatever you want. So I have like my full planner, like day-to-day planner is in Notion. A lot of my podcast like ideas and things like that are all listed in Notion. You can track like travel and plan travel with a whole itinerary. You can do a lot of stuff with Notion. So I use Notion on my actual laptop and then also on my phone, and it's like the same app. Splice I use for video editing. I love Splice. I feel like it's a very intuitive editor. TikTok now has the same kind of like Splice type of editing in TikTok. So I usually use this for Reels. And I think you do have to pay for it monthly, but for me it's worth it because it's a work thing. Canva, another app that I use a lot, also on my desktop. I do all of my graphics for everything with Canva. It's super intuitive, very easy to like learn, and you can do a whole lot with Canva. So I do everything from like YouTube thumbnails to like podcast graphics, all the things. I've talked about this before, but I use the MyHumanDesign app as well. I'm kind of getting more into human design and learning about my particular human design and how I should function in day-to-day life has been really interesting and pretty eye-opening. And it's also made me just like feel seen. And there's also like a daily portion to the app where you can sign in every day. You get like a little bit, like a little note for every single day, which I love. The next one is Audible. I have admittedly not read very many books this year, but I've tried to do my best listening to them. And I listen to a lot of like nonfiction, just kind of like, I wouldn't say self-help, but like work-related books on Audible. And then of course, Pinterest. That's kind of an obvious one, but I just wanted to add that one in there because I really do use it so much. But some books I have read, I got into the Colleen Hoover books. I only read 2. I read Verity and I read It Ends With Us. Loved them both. They were both really good. 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo I read this year. Fucking loved that. That's probably like one of my favorite books ever. And then I reread my actual favorite book ever, Invisible Monsters by Chuck Palaniuk again, and I love that book so much. And then shows. Okay, so my number one show has to be Yellowstone. So when I was in Fort Worth last, which is my hometown, I was at this hotel called Hotel Drover, and I saw like the entire cast of Yellowstone in my hotel lobby. And I don't really get starstruck that easily unless it's by like an influencer that I follow and really love or something. But I was truly starstruck. I didn't see everyone because whoever replaced Beth Dutton, she wasn't there. But I am obsessed with Yellowstone, not only because it's a good show, but early on when I was watching it, I was watching with Joe, and I was like, Joe, this whole premise sounds a lot like some people I know from my hometown, meaning like there's a bunch of like in Fort Worth, there's like a big Texas-y like kind of rancher presence. And there's some really big families there that have massive ranches throughout Texas, like huge. Okay. And the drama of the family that I've heard my entire life is always like, someone died and the ranch is getting, broken up to these kids. And then this kid wanted to sell it off and this kid didn't want to sell it off. And the ranch isn't making enough money as a ranch, but if they sold the land, they'd be incredibly wealthy. And like, it's the whole 9. Okay. All of the issues, except for many of the issues they have with the like native people to that area in Montana. It was just so familiar. And when I researched a little bit more, I realized that Taylor Sheridan, the guy who created Yellowstone, is obsessed with Fort Worth, Texas, which I was like, that fucking checks out, because I knew it. And I knew these storylines were taken from people's families that I just knew from home. And it was kind of like the stuff of legend, but like all of this stuff around the ranching culture is so real. And I actually looked up one of the families too, just to do some research to figure out like where the storylines are being sourced from. And like Casey, if you watch Yellowstone, you know who Casey is. Like Casey, one of the family members is now, or was when I looked this up, running for livestock commissioner of Texas. And I was like, oh my God, I knew it. This is straight out of Fort Worth. Anyway, fast forward a little bit. I saw the Yellowstone actors in my hotel in Fort Worth. And then Taylor Sheridan ended up buying one of the ranches from one of the big ranching families in Fort Worth. It's called the Four Sixes Ranch. He purchased that. And then he did the launch party for the new season of Yellowstone in Fort Worth at the Hotel Drover, and they displayed this massive sign that said, "The road to Yellowstone began in Fort Worth." And I was like, fuck yeah, I knew it. I knew it. But he's been obsessed with Fort Worth for like a long time. He like writes a lot about it in the show 1883, which is the prequel to Yellowstone that I also watched this year. Or maybe that was last year. I can't remember. But it kind of started in Fort Worth because it's like kind of where the West kind of started back in the day. So anyways, I'm obsessed with Yellowstone, not only for the plot of the show, but because it feels kind of like, I don't know, like home to me a little bit. Moving on, some not so serious shows that I've really enjoyed are Sex Lives of College Girls. I believe that's on HBO. Don't quote me on that. Just Google it and see what it's on. But I love that show. It was like a super easy watch to watch while I'm like getting ready or while I'm working. And then Hacks, which I believe that one is on HBO. So good, so funny, similar vibe. Like you can kind of pick up on different things and you don't have to be so serious when you're watching it. White Lotus, of course. Both seasons have been great. And then House of Dragons, 100% wonderful. I was definitely a fan of that whole series. I named my dog Drogo after Khal Drogo. So I'm a huge fan. So House of Dragons, wonderful. Playlists. I haven't listened to many playlists like religiously. One is definitely my Villain Era playlist. I fucking love that playlist. I need to update it, but I will link it below. I love that one. It goes with the Villain Era episode if you guys haven't heard that episode yet. But this is just meant to get you in your best headspace no matter what you're doing. I listen to it a lot of the times when I'm getting ready to go out with my friends or get ready for the day. I fucking love this playlist. And then the Yellowstone soundtrack I love because it's a lot of like Texas country music that reminds me of home because they use a lot of Texas music in Yellowstone. And then for podcast, the newest one that I've been listening to the most frequently is The Deck, which is presented by the same people who do Crime Junkie, because I listen to Crime Junkie every Monday, and then I listen to The Deck. I'm actually not sure when it comes out, but I listen to The Deck all the time. I just check every day to make sure see if there's a new episode. I love crime podcasts though, so I like the way that they do this one too. It's just very, I don't know, there's like a feminine touch to true crime, which makes it less, it's still egregious, but like easier to digest, I think. When men sometimes do true crime, I listened to this one, Sword and Scale. I tried to listen to that podcast, but the guy is going on rants about how he wants to like kill the serial killers and how like horrible ways he wants them to die and stuff. And I'm just not, it's just so aggressive and the content's already aggressive. I just need someone with a soft, calm voice to explain the story to me and be respectful to the victim and all the things. And I think that Crime Junkie and The Deck both do that really well. I've recently found this one podcast called Expanded, and it's by To Be Magnetic. I would love to have one of the girls behind this show on Note to Self at some point. It's very like, it's mystical, but it's also kind of making, like, let's say the manifestation process realistic, and it's relating it to how your brain actually works. So it's a realistic look at some very spiritual topics, which I really like. So it's a good one to listen to. Similarly, my friend Anna Grace came out with her podcast, AG University. Absolutely love. She's very spiritual as well. And I like her takes on things and the way she explains spirituality through her own lens. So I'm loving that one. Let's see, Impact Theory. That's one I don't listen to all the time, but when I do listen to it, I always just like catch gems of information. I love Impact Theory. And all the guests they have on Impact Theory, 100% love. And then lastly, I've been really into philosophy lately. So I started listening to Philosophize This, and it is like an education podcast, so to speak. So I'm listening right now to like Socrates and then Plato and then Aristotle. I'm trying to kind of like hone in on them right now to kind of get the whole vibe of what each of them are about and how Socrates taught Plato, who kind of taught Aristotle. Anyway, I've been reading or listening to those every now and then and re-listening to them so I can really digest that information, because obviously philosophy is not an easy thing to just like listen to it once and know. So I've really liked that one for like an educational purpose. And then last the last things are just like in my etc. list. So one thing I've shared a lot about on social media is I got my Delta Sky Miles Amex card at the beginning of mid last year. And I love that credit card so much. If you like to fly Delta, it's been really helpful for me in like booking flights and then also getting like all my little miles and everything. So now I get upgraded to first class if there's seats available, or upgraded to like Comfort Plus if there's seats available, whatever, depending on what I purchased. And then I also get a ton of points for flying Delta, and I love Delta so much. And they also have a lot of different airlines that like the points will transfer to. So I love that card. But recently I upgraded to the Amex Platinum, which has similar, obviously it's not a Delta card, but you do get like benefits with Delta on that card, and it's great for traveling. So I'm loving both of those cards right now. I actually have both of them right now. I'll probably try to like cut one out, probably the Delta Sky Miles one soon, but I'm loving both of those cards. So maybe if you're not ready for the Amex Platinum yet, maybe go for the Delta Sky Miles if you're a Delta girl, because I can get into like the lounges, and then you have all the benefits with Delta as well, to build up kind of like your loyalty. And then with Amex you get like the Centurion Lounge, and you also get the Delta Lounge, I believe, too, with that card. Furnish. I've been using Furnish because we've moved so much this year. You can basically rent furniture, and they will like, Furnish will come in, deliver the furniture to you, and when your rental expires or when you move or whatever, they just come and take the furniture out. It's the easiest way to move absolutely ever. I love Furnish so much. I use them in DC, I use them in Dallas, and now I'm using them in LA. Even though we have an Airbnb, I like spruced it up with some Furnish stuff. So I love Furnish if you move a lot, if you have roommates and you guys all kind of want to split the price of stuff without having to like buy and like commit to stuff. I know when you're on like a 1-year lease, and especially me throughout my 20s, I've moved a lot, and I've moved even within LA to a lot of different apartments. Doing that would have been so easy for us to kind of just like bill everyone, all the roommates every month and be like, this is what everyone owes. And then at the end of it, you can always buy out whatever it is that you were renting as well, or just give it back, which I love. Lastly, this was kind of a random addition at the end because I saw it in my fridge and I was like, oh shit, I got to add that. Ranch Rider Spirits. The ranch water they have, it's just like a canned alcohol. It's made in Texas, so I love that, but I'm a big ranch water girl. It's kind of like a new thing for everyone. If you aren't from Texas, this is like the popularity of ranch water has become like a thing now. But since college, that's what a ranch water is that very simple, like tequila, topo, lime. The ranch water, or the Ranch Rider Spirits place, has a regular ranch water one. They have a margarita one. They have like a jalapeno ranch water. I like the jalapeno and the regular. So good. I love this. It's super easy. Just like if I'm, pre-gaming or something like that, to bring those with me, or just have one when I'm like getting ready or whatever it is. I love Ranch Rider. But that brings this list to an end. That was a little bit longer than I thought it would be. But I wanted to get specific about the things that I really, really fucking love in this life, and things that make my day-to-day easier, or just make me really happy to use or to look at. And some of these things, like I said, were a bit of an investment, but I'm kind of aggregating a list of things. It's like, okay, here are the things that I've spent X amount of money on and that are actually worth it, because Lord knows I've made some designer purchases that weren't worth it, and just some clothing purchases in general that weren't worth it, or beauty product purchases that weren't worth it. And these absolutely 100% were. I've purchased, and repurchased, and I am obsessed with this entire list. So these are my 2022. I was getting ahead of myself. These are my 2022 favorites for your consideration to take with you into 2023. If you guys want to try a couple of these, or if some of these are already your favorites, let me know. Let me know what your favorite things are. Maybe I need to I actually do have a little list, I think, that you can send in your favorite things. Mostly I've made a list for like your Amazon purchases, your favorite Amazon purchases. By the way, that has become like on my Amazon shop, like a community list of favorite Amazon purchases. But maybe I'll make an actual list for your actual favorite things, like ride or die favorite products that you've purchased. But anyway, thank you guys so much for listening today, and I will talk to y'all next week.